Go.
Hello, and welcome back to another week of the Xbox Nord podcast, episode number 22. There's no age requirement here. That means you're all good to go. Anybody can watch this. Anybody who wants to watch it can watch it, and we can say everything we want. It's a free platform. It's a free universe.
Just a few bad words.
Yeah. I promise not to swear in this podcast, all right? Maybe my mom might watch it this time, so I don't know. But yes. Yeah. But we're back again.
I hope she watches.
Yeah. Oh, of course. We're back again, as always. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about. You know, talking about Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Remastered, or the Definitive Edition. We've got stuff to talk about Xbox Game Studios, including Rare, Bungie and Destiny 2's monetization, Oculus Quest Pro, and obviously we are an Xbox podcast. We're going to talk a little bit about Halo for sure. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting episode.
I think there was a little bit of Halo news this week. So
yeah, there was some good. Yeah, it was good and it was great. Yeah. I am Andrew Vendren. With me, as always, my two dads, Joshua James and Dan Robertson. Let me start with you, Mr. Joshua James. How you doing? How's it going? What's up with you, buddy?
Oh, same old. Kids driving me crazy, but living. No, everything's good. Work's getting busy, but that is due to course for this time of year.
Yeah.
But my little daughter's birthday's coming up at the end of November, so we're trying to figure all that out. So, life's a mess, but we keep on going, and it's great. Playing a lot of games when I can.
Nice.
Playing Back 4 Blood still with you guys. That's been enjoyable. Still playing Scarlet Nexus. And if you're watching right now, you can watch me. This is, mind you, a little late at night, and I'm not used to like bullet hell games like this, but I fail a couple times, so definitely talk shit about my gameplay. But I've been playing a little bit of that Mighty Goose, and that was fun. A little hard here and there, but I got through some of the hurdles I was dealing with. But
looks awesome.
Yeah. Besides that, things have been good.
Nice. Awesome, man. Yeah, Mighty Goose. This looks like what is this? Like an old school 2D shooter?
It reminded me of
it feels like Metroid.
Remember like Metal Slug?
Yeah. Okay.
That's very much what it reminded me of.
So I'm guessing like 1 or 2 hits you're dead in this.
About 4 hits you're dead.
Okay, that's good. Metal Slug was a bit of a nightmare for me, but that was a great gaming franchise. Also with me, Dan Robertson. Dan, how you doing, my guy?
Going on sharp.
Yeah, you're looking. Actually, you've been looking sharp the last few episodes. Yeah. You've been looking really sharp.
I didn't actually shave recently, so I'm still a little scruffy, but
so you got a baby face.
Clean it up a little bit. Yeah.
How's it going? How you been doing?
Not too bad. I've been pretty good. I've been playing some Back 4 Blood with you guys and getting farther. I'm almost. I think I just started the 3rd chapter.
Yeah.
And then I got to get through the rest of that. So I think I've done 1 or 2 levels on the 3rd chapter now.
But it's fun. Hard, man.
It gets super hard. As soon as you get like 4 people even just in a round, like it just starts to get super overwhelming. You all got to be like good communicators and everything, or you got to change the menu over to friends only and just have a couple of guys in there.
The bots are crap in that game. Like me and Andrew were playing the other day, and the bot was like literally just in the river, just like doing nothing. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Oh my god! My
favorite is when you're like setting up the minigun in front of the big boat that you're going to go blow up, and friggin' you get the minigun mounted, and the AI just keeps running out, and then running straight up to the in front of your minigun while you're just unloading on them and then just running away and coming back.
Infuriating.
I will say I'm also getting tired of like the dialogue because at first few days I was really enjoying it, but now I'm like, anytime Walker goes like, well, watch where you park yourself, you know what I mean? Every time he says that, I'm like, shut up.
Shut the fuck up, Walker. It's like you racist.
Other than that, I mean, the deck building's been kind of fun. I've been looking in and trying to figure out how to get the cards that I want, because in solo mode you get basically all the cards right off the bat, and then you can kind of use those to build whatever deck you want, or your dream decks,
Yeah.
I guess. And then
So, yeah, you can
do some
kind
of
of
that.
test them.
Yeah, I've been building mostly a shotgun build, so I got a bunch of different cards to give me abilities so that I get like temporary health for every pellet that hits an enemy, and then on top of that I get extra defense with a different card every time I have temporary health, so it kind of stacks them, and there's a whole bunch of shotgun specialty cards and everything too, so it's been kind of cool.
Nice.
On top of that, I've been playing some Breath's Edge, which has absolutely
I've seen
terrible
you.
controls, but it's so addictive. I don't know why I keep playing it. It's just like
I've seen you on.
a weird,
Yeah.
goofy space game that you
Yeah.
just like. I just recently figured out that they have base building in it,
Oh wow.
and so
Yeah.
you're kind of moving from like airlock to airlock so that you have enough. It's kind of like Subnautica, I guess.
Yeah.
But in space, and it's like much more cartoony and funny, and like you have like a chicken to disarm wires and stuff. And they keep going on about. I think it's you work for a company that sells space coffins.
Okay.
I'm not sure why, and then you ended up crashing at some point, and you're the only survivor because everyone else has killed themselves in like weird and miraculous ways, and you just find them dead everywhere in like weird positions, and like one guy's like handcuffed to a bed, and somebody skewered him with a lamp. So it's
Jesus.
What?
it's a little dark, but
Okay.
like they're very cartoony characters and everything too, so it's very like weird kind of dark humor. And
Well, it is the month for it, right? So
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
is
a
it
month,
scary
right?
at all?
like a weird, it's not really like jumping, like stuff jumping out at you, but there is like some little robots that'll attack you here or there, and you have to eventually craft yourself like better and better weapons, and you can eventually get like a ray gun. So I just recently fought a couple of those guys and opened up a door after I got a military uniform or a spacesuit.
Nice.
And there's kind of ridiculous and silly things like I'm trying to upgrade my suit to have more radiation protection so I can get closer and closer to the core of the ship that's kind of exploded, and try and like stop that from like getting any worse, or keeping producing like radiation and everything, so I can kind of get around or harness the energy or whatever it is. And I get like I have my regular suit, and I find like paint and lead, so I mix those together to make lead paint, and I paint my suit and everything. And then it was showing me that I could upgrade my helmet, and I could use like a lead painted helmet. So it just shows a helmet that's mostly glass in the front, but it's totally painted over. And when you put it on, you can't see anything.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. I'm gonna give that game a shot then. I might give that game.
It's funny and weird. The controls are terrible though, especially in the menus. Just be warned. It takes some getting used to.
Yeah,
No.
can you change it?
Oh god.
It seems like it's very much in development.
Yeah.
But
Like any developer at all, like what are you thinking when you don't give me customized controls? Like you give it on PC, but you don't give it on console? Like,
maybe it's just harder? I don't know. It's just
although there may be. I haven't explored too much into it. It's mostly like
I can customize the control in my dashboard, but I can't in my game.
like so it's mostly like an interesting thing, like going into menus and everything. Like you use the B button to equip things instead of exiting the menu. And that is
Like
difficult
breaks your
to no
brain?
end. Yeah, because B is always for exiting things.
Yeah. So, I hate that.
No.
Yeah.
There's like
I mean,
universal rules. There's
so just be
controller
warned.
etiquette, right? I would
Like the
say
gameplay
controller
itself is
etiquette.
funny and interesting, and like that, and like it makes me want to go and like explore and find new little corners of this like space area that I'm in, and like trying to get past each of the obstacles to get better and better and build up all your stuff. But it's the controls are terrible. Just be warned.
Like developers should know some controller etiquette, right? Like the B button is always back. Like don't pull that. And you know what? The select, and one thing I hate, the select button or the back button, the one on the left side of the controller, that should always be your character's like the RPG portion of the game. I hate it when they switch it to the start button. I'm just like what are you thinking? Like,
Yeah.
why are
Trying
you
to be
doing
wise right here. Yeah.
that?
That's good.
Or it needs to be the map button.
Yeah.
Like it's one or the other. So
I can't remember, but there was a game in the original Xbox where it was like they had like a first-person shooter mode, and X was shooting, and I remember being like, "What the hell? Who made these controls? Like, why would you press X to shoot?" Like,
Yeah,
I,
that's kind of part of the problem.
yeah,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
just like, who
Yeah,
it's
so
like
did?
when they
it's like
put like
B to
Y
shoot, I
as like
think.
the jump button.
Yeah,
It's just like,
yeah.
why
Yeah.
did you put Y as the jump button?
Yes,
Like,
there was a few. There were a few. I just realized that they were like, maybe we have to be different. I don't know. It's all
I
about
don't
being
know.
different.
I
Yeah,
think that's the jump button in Breath
yeah.
Edge too.
Really? Oh, that's
Yeah.
awful.
Oh my god.
You
Oh my
might
God.
be able to customize the controls, and I just haven't looked into it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the default controls are absolute garbage.
I
It took
gotta
me
look into
forever.
that.
Like walking through a ship, it took me forever to figure out what was actually jump, and
Jeez.
I can't even remember what it was exactly right now. I think it was either Y or the joystick.
Well, it must be a compelling enough game for you to look past
Yeah.
the shitty controls
Yeah.
because that would drive me
It
crazy.
it really is. It makes me still want to play it more, but yeah.
Well, you know what? You know what has really shitty controls? Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah,
You know,
that's true. That's true. Grand Theft Auto
And they
trilogy.
made it look better.
Yeah.
yeah, they do.
Oh yeah.
But before we get into that, Andrew, how's it
That's
going,
Andrew.
man?
Yes. Before that, you know what? Obviously, I'm playing the same games as you guys are, but there's two new Game Pass games that came out from local Canadian developers, Echo Generation and Moonglow Bay.
no.
Yeah, co-Cuban
Oh, yeah.
Toronto company. And when you play
Moonglow?
Moonglow Bay, it's set in Ontario.
No, it's not Ontario.
Yeah, it's set in so you go up north of it's like there's like a small town in Ontario, and your daughter's in Quebec. And have you guys tried Moonglow Bay?
yeah.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Man, I can't believe it just shadow dropped out of nowhere.
It was a shadow drop, and I didn't like that because I feel like that was a game that needed a little bit of some sort of like marketing push. It's
like
very cute, by the way. It's very like the prologue is very adorable because it's like you play this like older dad, and you're taking care of your daughter who's now in her teenage years, and your wife has recently passed away, and she teaches you in the prologue how to fish, and it's and then you're just the whole story is about you trying to get the town back to being relevant because the town is financially. It's really touching. It's a really touching game. I recommend it for people who are more in a patient side because, well, heck, you're reeling in fish. It's not the most action-packed thing. There's a lot of trivial things that goes on it, but like
it's no Mighty Goose.
Yeah, it's definitely the opposite. It's definitely the opposite of like going running around. You do have like this really beautiful little town to go around and, like go to, visiting the aquarium, visiting all these little nice parts and
Much more casual game.
Yeah, especially once you get to the base part of fishing. You're reeling in, but it's beautiful. You guys should try it. You should give it a shot.
Is the fishing fun?
I would say yes and no. Early on, it's very frustrating. I'm not that far right now. There are some moments where I got really frustrated, but then I did play it before I went to bed, so I just kind of was like, okay, let me just take it easy. And then as soon as I started reeling in like my first few fishes, I was like, okay, I get what this game is. It's like it's requiring a lot of patience. You got to be really mellowed out. So anybody who wants to be mellowed out, this is the perfect game for it. But absolutely,
mellowed out, eh?
Yeah.
Good thing you live in Canada.
Yeah. And also Echo Generation is also pretty good. They're both, text-based kind of games. They're old school RPGs, no voice acting or anything like that. So it's not for everybody, in my opinion. This is like as indie as it can get. You can tell it's an indie level game budget and all that stuff. But
is Echoes of your it's like a turn-based RPG?
Yeah.
I saw some. It looks cool. I like the art style.
The art style
reminds me of Stranger Things.
Yeah, that's actually what I was going to say. That is that, and there was another game called Wild at Heart that was like these two like Stranger Things clone-looking games.
Yeah, I've seen the ads for that.
Yeah,
I haven't played that one yet, but I wanted to.
Yeah, usually these are the games that like like you take a pass or not, but I definitely enjoyed it so far. I haven't finished it though. It's still early.
I got to get through Scarlet Nexus. I feel like that I wanted to do the other campaign in Scarlet Nexus, the female Kasame's campaign, but I don't think I'm going to do it because I want to move on to other things.
Yeah,
Forza is so close, and
I know.
There's a couple things I just want to kind of jump into and see if I can beat it really quickly.
The timeline, what I realize is the same thing I'm feeling with you, Josh. I'm like, there's going to be 2 big games where I'm going to put a lot of effort. So I need to like finish some stuff because I feel like my hours are going to be put into these 2 games, like Forza and then Halo.
And I don't want to like overlook some things as well. So
yeah.
But back to my too early transition. I tried to be sleek there. I was like, oh yeah, like
yeah.
Like I didn't mean to like forget about to ask you what's going on. I got like excited because I was like, oh, an opportunity to segue into our topic. But
well, it's a great segue. It's a great segue, buddy. No, I loved it.
It's an excellent segue right into Andrew.
Did you like my segue?
I did like my segue, but I was like, you son of a bitch, you forgot me, you son of a bitch. What is this, episode 1, episode 2 again? I think one of the first few episodes where I was doing the whole clock, and I was like, oh yeah, let's go to the first topic. And then I'm like, oh, what about, and then I realized, I'm like, maybe I should talk about myself and then all that, but whatever.
Oh, you know what has shitty controls?
Tell me, Josh. Oh. You know what, though?
The smoothest of transitions.
That was the smoothest, right?
They are going to... that is a great transition. They are going to fix it this time. That's the one that I really liked. The fact they even said that. They said that immediately, and I was like, I hope they fix the controls. I hope they do the aiming, the shooting, like the aiming for like when you have a gun in Grand Theft Auto 3 and Vice City is awful. It's awful. But here's the thing. These games are 20 years old.
All right.
I think the redone art is kind of what I pictured it to be, and it's kind of disturbing.
Not the redone art. It is the art. So
yeah, it's the exact same art, and like it's just smooth and like that's what weirds me out.
I said. Yeah. Remember, like when we were talking about it, I'm like, what will it look? I'm like, if it's the exact same art style with just like better textures and like dope lighting, I'm like, it will look ridiculous, but that's exactly what I want, and that's exactly what they did.
I mean,
it's so weird, but it's so good.
I remember when I watched San Andreas, and I'm like, wow, the graphics are shit, but you can do so much in this game. And all the character models look like, like I just drew them personally by hand. You know what I mean? Like I got too lazy, but but I mean, listen, it's. I have to say, you are right. I think the better lighting does make it kind of like that look.
Oh yeah.
But I'm excited to play it. I don't know how to say it, but I'm really excited to play it.
Is it running on a new engine too?
Everybody's telling me
running on Unreal.
Unreal Engine. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. But I don't even know if that was really.
It can't be the original engine. Like no way.
Yeah, it wouldn't be able to handle it anymore. I don't think.
No,
and like just with the improvements and everything, it's going to be weird playing it because I have a feeling it's going to feel a little more like a newer, like Rockstar game, like a newer Grand Theft Auto rather than the older one.
Well, I'm just curious. The video that will come out is like, this is what they removed from. It's like because it was made during a more edgy time, but whatever.
Yeah, I remember. What was it? Grand Theft Auto 3 had like every taxi driver had like. I was
gonna say something.
But here's the thing. It was 20 years ago.
You can get a hooker in Grand Theft Auto 3, and it gives you more life. Like
it replenishes your health. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of things where I'm just like, man, it's like And the funny thing is, like when people thought that game was rough, there's games like Postal that like that.
Postal. Or you could take the cat and use it as like a silencer. What the fuck was that?
Oh yeah, Postal was awful.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It was designed to be as awful as possible.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah.
What's the best part about this release is Game Pass, baby. We're
Yep.
getting
We're getting
we're
one.
getting
Yeah.
we're
getting
getting the
San
best
Andreas.
one out of the three, San Andreas.
You guys think
Like,
San Andreas is the best one out of 3? Really?
It's the most complete one, definitely. It's the most
I
realized out of the three.
I will say that
100%.
one has the most original story, but I really also I will say like for me, like I love San Andreas a lot, but I also really love Vice City. I really love Vice
Yeah.
City.
Vice
I
City is
like
really good.
I like the feel and the art style of Vice City,
Yeah.
but I like the gameplay more in San
Oh,
Andreas.
yeah.
Yeah, like I like the idea of going back to Vegas. Like that's one thing that drove that I didn't like about Grand Theft Auto 5, and they're like, we're going back to San Andreas, but there's not going to be Vegas in there. There's not going to be San Francisco, where like you can go back to the Strip in this one. Yeah, I look forward to San Andreas, and
Mhm.
you know what, saves me a buck or two, but
Yep.
I think it's gonna be a lot of fun revisiting these games, and thank God they are updating those controls, right? So
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That is true.
because I think like that would set a lot of people off. They would buy this game and be like, "What is this garbage?"
Yeah,
Like no, like the first one wasn't it just like straight lock on
yeah.
for shooting and like nothing else, and the
so.
camera was like really like crap.
There's a couple of levels in the first one. I think it was like the Chinatown level, if I remembered. Man, this is so long ago. This is like dating us all back, right?
Like I played
But-
this on the PSP too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember they came out on the PSP. They were great.
Actually, I played it originally when it came as a double pack in Grand Theft Auto, the Xbox version, 2003. Do you guys remember that?
The triple
Like-
pack.
No, it was actually first a double pack, and then San Andreas came out, and then they made it into a triple pack 2-3 years later.
Mm. I remember playing San Andreas on PC, and I put a draw distance mod on there.
Yeah.
I remember going on a roof and seeing like Vegas in the distance, and you could see San Francisco like far away, and I was like, my mind is like blown.
Yeah. Do you
that
remember? It's so funny. You just said draw distance in the original Xbox one. Oh my god! Like it was just like
Yeah.
foggy. It was just like two single colors and oh well.
It's a great game though. But
It was a
man,
great
I can't believe it's coming to Game Pass day one. Like I would not expect that game. If there's a
Mhm.
game that is like guaranteed print money, like we don't even need Game Pass to do this, which is curious that Grand Theft Auto 3 is coming in December to PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
Like a month after release. So I guess they couldn't get it on day one. But
Yeah. I think there were some checks given, and Microsoft gave the bigger check. I think that's
if any company comes up and says, okay, this is what Sony will give us for this game, for their release on PlayStation Now, Microsoft would be like, okay, we can give you more because we have more money. We're $1 trillion company. You can always ask for more money from Microsoft, and they'll probably be like, be able to do that, no problem. Hell, we got like
The weirdest part about this game
first, like
Yeah. I think the weirdest part about this game for me is just now I'm going to have to play it like after my kids go to bed. So I remember being so young and playing it and everything and just like, yeah, no, this is awesome. You can do all sorts of crazy shit in this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if my 3-year-old
Are you
needs to see
running
that.
over people, Dad?
Those are bad guys. Everybody in here is a bad guy.
Who's
Yeah.
that lady in the car with you, Dad?
yeah. That's true. That's true.
See, I need more life right
Yeah.
now.
You guys remember the whole hot coffee mod? Or the whole hot coffee
Yeah.
incident?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could talk about Grand Theft Auto for too long because there's just too much.
It's easy to keep talking
Do you
about.
think that?
Yeah.
Do you think the sex mini game in San Andreas is very?
Do you think that's going to be DLC for this one?
Oh God.
Yeah, I think.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I think some things are going to be cut for sure. We just don't know about it. We'll see. Well, I mean,
I think there's going to be a lot of things cut from the game.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Maybe they'll make it into, I actually secretly thought they were going to do a reboot. I'm not kidding. I thought they were going to do
multiplayer, and it's
Yeah.
literally just reskinned like Grand Theft Auto Online.
Yeah, I thought they were going to do a reboot. I'm not kidding, boys. I thought they were going to do a reboot instead. That's literally what I thought they were going to do. But I guess
it's a nice little cash grab.
Mhm.
Probably
That's
didn't
true.
take that long to make.
Yeah, probably. Just like one developer and new engine and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
Well,
it
if they're
was
just updating the engine, it'll be like, I mean, you're gonna have a few people at least to translate the code and everything, and then you'll reskin it and everything, and probably have to retexture just because like you're gonna have much smoother models and everything now rather than
Yeah.
just the textures. You can't just upgrade the textures.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll do what they did like with Halo, where you could switch between the two. I don't think they're going to do that.
Probably
No,
not, no.
that was like something that like Saber Interactive could only do. Like Saber Interactive had like some kind of like that was people who did the Halo what was it, that anniversary thing, and like they were able to do it, but I don't think I've ever seen that ever in like another game in a while. That like one press of a button. We'll see, but
Because I think it was running on the same engine and retextured basically.
yeah. Well, this is like Unreal Engine.
Halo?
This one's like an updated engine and everything too.
Or yeah, I think
No, I think Halo was a different engine as well.
Was it? I think it might have been similar enough though.
Yeah, and they
I'm not
were
100% on that.
so
Yeah.
But it was interesting you could switch between the two for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think you'll be able to do that in this.
Yeah. Speaking of reboots, we got to talk about our own people. Matt Booty, head of Xbox Game Studios, has recently said on the Kind of Funny Gamecast that what a great face of him, that the internal reboot of Everwild was totally blown out of proportion from the gaming media. This is, you know what, like, do you guys think that Matt Booty is just downplaying this thing, or is he actually saying it from the truth? Because I'm in the camp where I think, like, you know, Rare is just now making different type of games. They're not going to make, you know, simple games anymore, and they take maybe bigger ideas. And
what did he say specifically?
Well, okay, so, you know, what is Rare known for? And this is where he's saying. He says they're known for creating new IPs and creating worlds. I'll say when you look at it from the outside, when you hear the words like reset and maybe restructure, those are probably a little bit more definite and a little bit more extreme than what really happens as a game comes to life. He references NBA Jam developer Mark Trammell. He used to say that a game is made with 1,000 small decisions at a time. Every day you're making hundreds of small decisions, and at the end, however long you work on the game, they all add up. And I think that's where the Everwild team is right now. They're just trying to make sure that they got something special. What do you guys think?
Well,
I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing to like delay it if they need to delay it or whatever. Take more time with it. I think it's going to be a good game either way. From what I've seen of it, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think that people are blowing it out of proportion because the director left, and then there was like reports that it was internally rebooted. So, you know, they're a creative studio. Like everyone, I guess, points to Rare from back in their heyday, right?
Yeah.
When they were making GoldenEye and Perfect Dark and Banjo-Kazooie, but you know. When they moved over to Xbox, what was their first game? Grab by the Ghoulies,
yeah.
which I think was initially a N60 or a GameCube game. So that was going to be a Nintendo game. So that was something already initially not by Microsoft. But then they kind of do their own thing. They are very creative. Like Viva Pinata is a fantastic game, but then they shoved them onto Connect. Like Avatar games and Connect Party games, and then they finally gave them the chance with Sea of Thieves, right? And Sea of Thieves is one of their biggest successes, period. So I think if Sea of Thieves was not a successful game, I don't think they would be as patient with this. You know, Sea of Thieves apparently took forever to make, and even when it did come out, it was super bare bones. And now it finally is kind of where it should be. But I don't know. Maybe Rare has earned the right to take the time on something if they feel like it's special enough. But I'm really curious what the reveal of Everwild will be once they do decide to reshow it. But I'm excited about it. It has a very unique art style, that's for sure. But it could look completely different. Like it's been a while since we
Yep.
saw that first initial reveal trailer. I think it's been like 2 years, right?
2 years, yeah.
Yeah, so that's crazy. What would you, Andrew, want to see out of Rare as based off of the history that you know? Would you want to see them like go back into the well of their classic IP?
I
Or should
mean,
they always forge ahead with
this is
new
gonna be
ideas?
this is gonna be completely left field, but I'd like them to make Cameo 2 again. I don't know if you guys ever remember Cameo, but I love
Yeah,
that game.
Cameo is a
I love
great
that
game.
game. I
Cameo
love that game.
deserves
Yeah.
another shot, in my opinion.
I think
Definitely.
I
Great
mean,
female character, had special
all
powers, could
these
turn into a bunch of
monsters. Yeah.
great kids game too,
Yeah. That's what we
as
kind of
well.
need. Yeah. Um, you know what? It does look like they're now a one game at a time studio. Like before they were like a multi-game studio. They were since like the late 90s. I mean, while they were making Perfect Dark and GoldenEye, they were also making Banjo-Kazooie. And
Well, yeah,
even
Cameo in Perfect Dark came out at the
came
same
out the
time
same
as.
time. So they were always like this two game studio. But I think now they also had like layoffs just before Sea of Thieves, and then I think they just restructured as like, you know, they have a bunch of ideas, but they're basically making one game, and I think they kind of want to make something like Sea of Thieves. Like they realize this might be something that's in their alley. So
You think they're gonna go for another kind of games as a service or Everwild? You think it will
yeah,
be like that?
yeah, I think so. I think so.
I think they're
I
at
think
least going to try it again because it's been successful for them so
yeah,
far. Why not, right?
they got
Like
like
Perfect
15
Dark and
million.
GoldenEye were pretty close together and everything, and then yeah, like
Yeah.
it makes business sense anyways.
But you know what? I feel like I never finished the Pirate's Life campaign in Sea of Thieves, but the linearness of it and the storytelling of it, I want a linear story-focused Rare game instead of
Yeah,
like maybe add like a co-op element to it.
Mhm.
But I want I want I want to because they're so amazing at building these very unique worlds that have gorgeous art styles, and almost like a still frame of their game almost has a story in itself, right? Like they make
yeah,
beautiful worlds, and I feel like their world deserves more than just a live service game. I feel like, but then again, you know what? I'm speaking too much into something I don't really know what Everwild is, but I hope Everwild, if it is going to be like a live servicing game, please go heavy on story and like lore and just
Yeah. Yeah.
the world
yeah.
you build
Explore
and
the world
make
of
it
it.
feel, yeah, and make it feel like complete from the start instead of like, oh, now it's good 2 years down the road. Like I'm really tired of that kind of crap.
I
So
don't think I got the investment for all those games like that. That's the thing, right? Like I look at it, it looks like I think that's what every developer wants to do now because they're looking at, the incredible value to do that. But do either of us like have that much investment for so many games? I think I can only have like one or two games per year for that type of investment.
yeah, and when it's like, oh, if it's going to be a live service game, I'm like, does that mean I guess I'm not going to play it then? Maybe I'll check it out, but I'm definitely not going to
Yeah.
spend the time into it. Maybe if like my kids get into it, if it's um, appropriate enough for them, like I could see your daughter, your oldest, getting into it, Dan,
Yeah.
or if it is, if it
Kid
sparks
friendly.
their imagination and stuff like that. I could see
Yeah.
Microsoft saying, "Hey, can we maybe make this family friendly
Yeah.
game?" Like, well, I don't know. Is Sea of Thieves really family friendly? That game's pretty cutthroat.
Those
That's
snakes
for
scare
sure.
me, man. Those snakes scare me.
Well, like and just like players attacking you and just like
Yeah.
your time
Yeah.
can get
Yeah.
Being
pretty
online and
derailed.
multiplayer and everything, like that's like the basis kind of core of the parental settings and everything too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like if it's not the like actual game itself title, like making sure that it's following the rating system or whatever,
Mhm.
it's the online aspect. That's what most of the controls are geared around because you don't want your kids matching with like a bunch of weird people or stuff that like you don't think they should really be exposed to. So
True.
it's difficult to do that stuff, and hopefully they they can make it nice and like something a little more family friendly. I don't know, Breath of the Wild's kind of style. I don't own a Switch, so I want something like that.
We definitely need it. We could use a variety for sure. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
I'll wait for that game, guys. I'll wait. We have there's too many games to be announced for Xbox, I'm sure.
Dog's playing with the cat.
Oh no. No.
I see my mic flaring.
We're having fun at
every
least.
once in a while.
I don't know if it might. I don't know which, but the
Do you
one
hear
thing
something on my end?
I can't. I don't know if it's you or me. That's why I was just like, whose is this?
Notice it's flaring up on yours when I hear it.
Me?
On Josh's.
Yeah, I do notice it. I was like, whatever. It is what it is. Well, problems during the podcast.
Not super
folks.
loud.
Yeah. That's what. This is just what we gotta go.
I'll just mute it when I'm not using it. So.
Yeah, whichever. Anyway, speaking of like live service, the one thing that I hope Everwild does not get is monetization going too far, because right now I would say Bungie is taking their Destiny 2 monetization too far with the announcement that the 2 new dungeons in the upcoming Witch Queen expansion will not be part of the standard edition or the season passes, but sold separately. So
I don't know if they're reaching over again for like more money or what, but they were doing great on Game Pass.
Yeah, I was like, that was the only reason I was playing Destiny 2, because of Game Pass. And now I'm looking at it, 2 dungeons will be part of the Digital Deluxe Edition for $80 American, so that should be about $90 Canadian, with the 3rd dungeon coming alongside with the Digital Deluxe plus Bungie's 30th Anniversary Bundle. That's $100 American. Well, knowing that it's not going to go for, Game Pass, does this expansion even interest any of you guys? I feel like, Josh, you're a Destiny 2 guy. Dan, you also play Destiny 2 back. But
I played it quite a bit.
What do you guys think of this? You know what I mean? Like, because like the season passes, I was like buying it along occasionally with you guys and kind of enjoying it. But then as soon as I knew that like this Witch Queen was not coming to Game Pass, I was like, I don't know, I'm out the door. I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's tough to see that, because it makes that barrier of entry that much worse. Like the dungeons, I would say, the dungeons, so there's strikes in the game, and then there's dungeons, and then raids. And dungeons are almost like a mini raid with 3 of you. So I'd say they're a lot more accessible. It's a lot harder to get 6 people together and do a raid compared to, let's say, getting 3 people together and doing a dungeon. And the dungeons are really enjoyable. Like, we did one. What was that one we did all the time? Prophecy. Prophecy is great. It has a cool look to it, good mechanics to it. But now when you're like, okay, so let's say Witch Queen comes to Game Pass, okay, and then we all buy the season pass, and then I have to be like, okay, we got to buy this on top of the season pass just so we have access to this dungeon, which is essentially end game content, like pivotal content in the game. I think that's outrageous, to be honest. I don't think locking away the dungeon should either be part of the season pass. It's like, if you're going to lock it away, then fine, lock it away behind the season pass. At least the season pass is accessible. Where you're locking this away, but behind what? It's the 2 dungeons will be part of the Digital Deluxe Edition. So I have to get the Digital Deluxe Edition. Am I able to buy that just by the bonuses just by itself? If it comes, well, I guess not, because it's not coming with Game Pass. So I have to spend like, how much is this Digital Deluxe and plus the 30th Anniversary Edition on top of that to get the 2nd dungeon. So it's like $100.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey guys, spend $100 to come play Destiny with me. I'm like, ugh. Even if it's on Game Pass, it's like, it's hard enough to say, hey, spend $10 and get the season pass. It's worth it. But like, I don't know, man. I don't think I'm going to be playing Witch King because of this.
I have like a crazy question. Would you prefer it being like a WoW paid monthly subscription? Would you do that with Destiny 2? If it was that, like, and you constantly get new content, would you do that instead?
Yeah, probably.
Because I feel like that's what they should have done. Because I think there's a lot of players that do really like it that would be like, okay, it's free to play, or sorry, they don't have to go through like a gold subscription, but then they're like, for, $10 a month, they're constantly getting new content, and then they get like a big expansion that like they don't, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
just have the
then again,
seasons
WoW's
monthly instead.
But WoW's patches in their year are bigger than an entire expansion pass for Destiny. So, like, it's hard to be like, it's hard to justify when a patch for Warcraft is bigger, has more content in it than your entire expansion pack. And like, I used to play WoW. I know how big those fucking patches are, and how big they were. They would add like a whole new zone, where an expansion in Destiny just adds a whole new zone, where and an expansion for Warcraft adds like 7 new zones. So in contrast between the two, Warcraft makes their expansions and their patches look like fucking joke. So if putting a monthly subscription to it could get me content at that scale, easy.
Yeah. I kind of think that
I think it has a lot to do with their engine, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think their engine is out of date and not like malleable, in the sense that it's not something they can just update on the fly. They need something. That's what makes like Fortnite work so well, is they can just like update that thing like pretty much in real time.
Yeah.
And whatever Destiny 3 or what Destiny turns into needs to be that. They need that engine to be just completely modular.
Yeah.
Speaking of Fortnite, in Fortnite, aren't they like making a transition to Unreal Engine 5 like during next year?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's gonna be kind of awesome. Like the fact that they could do that, and I'm just like, yeah. But I guess it's just way too complicated for Destiny and all that.
Even their live events are not even that interesting.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know, the future for Destiny. I really wish it was staying on Game Pass. I really thought like Phil Spencer was going to give him another paycheck.
Well, we don't know.
That's true. Maybe like Microsoft might give him like a late inning, paycheck. Just be like Xbox, maybe just the Xbox console versions, something like that.
And we might get it later down the road. So.
That's true.
I'll play the campaign and check that out and go through the linear story if they give it to me. But I'm not putting more money into it.
Yeah, good for you. You know what I do?
I know, Andrew. It's a really like it's like you saying no to MLB the Show. It's me saying no to Destiny. I'm glad you recognize that, and I appreciate. I just want to say, I see you. I see you.
You know what though? I say to myself like, man, I put way too much hours in this fucking shit, and I want my time back every year. I'm just like, I just want my time back. I don't know why I do it. I have no idea why, and it's so stupid. But this is what we play games, right? We also, there's also that kind of, that ease of certain games. Just like a plug and play kind of thing. It just works for us. I think that's what's going to be like when Halo Infinite comes out and all that stuff. So we'll see, or not, well, whatever. But speaking of things that might cost a lot, the Oculus Quest 2 Pro has been leaked, and it looks like an interesting VR headset. You know what? I finally tried an Oculus Quest at your place, Josh. I'm like, I totally want one. And you're like, wait, there might be a new one coming out. And then there's a leak for the 2 Pro. I don't even know how much this thing's going to cost, but I'm kind of thinking of getting it right
They're getting
now.
much better price point than they used to be.
Well,
much were they?
The Quest 2 wasn't outrageous in my opinion.
Yeah, wasn't that like a more
$399 or something?
Yeah, it's like a price of a Switch. I remember that. Somebody told me it was like, but it it looks a lot more comfortable.
Oh yeah, like it looks so much slimmer. Like
Yeah.
where, like you were saying earlier, he's like it doesn't look that much slimmer, dude. It looks like the other one is like this thick, at least let's say 3.5 inches off your face.
Yeah.
Where this looks like it's maybe 2 or so at the most, maybe 1.5, because it looks like a lot of the hardware is going to be more spread off, around the end. It looks like there's a big chunk on the back, so it looks like
and that'll be for like counterweight too. So I'm not sure how much actual like components are back there, but it makes sense to house them
I would
in
say
as
like
little
a battery
space as possible. So there should be at least like battery, something back there, and a lot built into the front. And it's funny because the original design for the Oculus, like I have the original Oculus. And it was, I think, $5.99 or something when a friend ended up getting it for me for Christmas. So, like, thank you so much, friend.
Wow. Can you be my friend too, please? Yeah.
She's awesome, though. And, ended up getting me that. And it's been an awesome, just, like, thing to have around. But there's a lot of weight in the front compared to the back. And, like, it would more so, like, grip onto the back of your head and sit the weight up here.
Well,
and so this one is much better balanced.
Oh yeah, and if you think about it, like I've seen ones, there are other headsets where the battery pack is in the back there, and it makes sense. Like from the image you can see, and people who are not watching this, basically it looks like, think of like almost like ski goggles, a little thicker out, and there's a bit of a portion on the forehead. So it looks like there's a bit of hardware in the forehead. Yeah, and there's like a nice resting piece for the your back of the head, and that I would imagine that's where the battery would go. It'd be cool if it's also swap-outable batteries for people who want to be in there for a long time. But it looks comfortable, and from what I've seen of the leaked image, the leaked videos in this, it looks like they're going to be going hard on augmented reality. So the cameras that are built into the front of this camera must almost
it looks like it's
one-to-one. It must almost be one-to-one. I don't think it's see-through because they've been really working on the pass-through on the Quest 2. Like the pass-through video is really good, and they're trying to get it to make it feel like it's that perfect distance where things don't feel odd when you're.
It's very difficult to get it to place the way your eyes feel like it should be.
Exactly. So if they can get that right, from what I've seen of the videos there, it almost seems like they're going to be like saying, hey, replace your monitor. Because one of the videos shows the lady working on a computer, but there's no monitor screen there. And she puts it on, and everything is the monitor screen for you. So Andrew, think like if you got a computer, you have that thing on, you have like 5 different monitors, or you turn around, you want to play Halo on like a 85-inch screen that's floating in front of you. Boom, there it is. And if it's comfortable enough to wear, if their goal is to be like, we want you to wear this for 8 hours in a day and feel comfortable, that's a game changer right there.
That's amazing.
And maybe there will be a VR chat space that's not filled with a bunch of fucking perverts.
Well, they were even mentioning in there too that it looks like it's probably good use for like business meetings and everything too, using like 3D graphs or something, or being in like a more of an environment for showing off like products and everything. So it has its business uses too, just like the Microsoft Lens is becoming wider used in like the industries and everything.
But why are we? We're an Xbox podcast. Why are we talking about this?
Because we need one. Because we need.
Exactly. We want VR on our Xbox.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, and that's the whole thing. Like, I don't even feel like they need to be like, hey, here is our product. We made this VR headset. Like, just support the Quest, or just support
the Valve one. Your
console's powerful enough to do it. Like, the Series X and S are powerful enough to do VR. It'd be cool if they were just like, oh, the ones that are compatible with Windows. You know, if you guys want to make a game for VR and use that headset, like why not? Why like
Yeah.
just like why not allow it? I just don't understand.
From what I'm
Um,
told is that this is like not like obviously like I got to confirm this, but the PSVR is not that successful. It's not that
the
successful.
PSVR it's not that successful, but if the Xbox Store already shares with the Windows Store and it's going to be more unified in the future, why don't you just be like, no effort at all?
Yeah,
We don't give a shit if
about the hardware.
if you
Yeah.
want to post the game on there. We don't care what hardware you're using. These are the headsets that Windows already supports. And if your game supports it, then whatever. Who cares?
That I think is a smart game, and I think that is probably the only best option. Because it clearly.
I don't think it would take that much work too.
I feel like maybe it is down the road. It's just like they just don't want to. I don't know. Like I feel like something's down the road for that. Like
I feel like Microsoft seems very much like they feel like they're not either ready to get into that market just yet, or they feel like there's not enough of a market for it.
Yeah.
And I think they're just waiting for the right technology to do it, like develop the lens enough or develop the wait for the Quest to develop enough so that they're getting exactly what they want out of it, and they want to do it right because they're seeing that PlayStation VR is cool and everything, but it's not kind of all it's cracked up to be.
Yeah.
And like it's kind of the same way with like my Oculus. It's cool, but it's almost a little gimmicky because like the controls aren't really perfected yet. Like they're designing better and better controllers every day, and like they're more like touch sensitive. It works your entire hand rather than just I just get like this, an open hand, close, or I can do the triggers or the thumbs.
Yeah.
And like
it looks like this one
cool,
will be able to detect all your fingers. And also it seems like it has a radar to detect your mouth movement as well. So it'll know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because the future is like anyone who's tried VR, as soon as you have a conversation with a person in VR chat, it kind of like clicks.
Yeah.
You know, there's a moment where you're like even for you, Andrew, when you were interacting with those people playing golf, there's a moment where it just like
people, you mean child?
Like,
yeah.
But you know what?
Yeah.
The person's still like in front of you.
It was
so there's this more human interaction, even though you are characters. And if this press conference that's happening tomorrow with Facebook, because Facebook, you know, they're going down the toilet. They need to rebrand. And if their rebrand is we are going to make the new internet in VR, like their virtual reality interface could be, and this sounds crazy, it could be as big as Windows. It could be bigger than Windows.
Yeah.
Because like think of Ready Player One. If this place is compelling enough to go to and feels like a space and a compelling space, and that's going to be a hard thing to catch up to. Yeah. And I feel like that conversation we were having about you know, their what's wrong with Destiny and their engine not being malleable, and how Fortnite kind of exists in that space. Imagine if the in-between area, the lobby, we can say, for this virtual world, because that's what it'd be, like little spaces in between the space to get to like the website, right, or whatever.
Yeah.
If something like a Ariana Grande concert happens, like these things that happen in Fortnite, like the Travis Scott concert, but it happens in VR and you feel more there. And if they can make, if Facebook can crack that code and put that into their VR interface and their kind of OS, we'll call it, oh man,
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to catch up to that. I feel like when PlayStation VR, the next one, which is coming, they already showed it. I think PlayStation Home is coming back. I think they see the value in like a VR chat space. Because my wife's like up there right now talking to a bunch of people around the world, and they're like playing games like Overcooked in VR chat. And so essentially they just copy like popular
they just
games.
remake games in it.
Yeah, they're playing Prop Hunt in VR chat and stuff like that. So there's this they can't ignore forever.
Yeah.
And I feel like they feel like they're already there because of Windows, but you're not.
Yeah, there's a few things that hold it back, but it just needs to be developed, and somebody's got to develop it, right? So like, if Facebook can do it successfully enough, then they'll probably gain like a huge market for that, because people are wanting to live more in a virtual space, especially because of just COVID and everything too. People are spending more time in a virtual space and realizing the difference between the two, and like seeing the benefits for some virtual space that a lot of people didn't think had value before. It was interesting just showing off like VR to like my parents or like anyone really, like showing it off to kids and stuff. Kids absolutely love it. Like they think it's like a whole different world, and like my daughter especially loves playing Fruit Ninja. And she just pops up the fruit and everything, and she just loves like cutting it with a samurai sword. She's got fancy unicorn swords now that she ended up unlocking on there. And she has a blast. It's good exercise and everything too. Like I really enjoy it, even just because it's that whole feeling of the space of like being in the video game is it's an interesting way to see it and look at it and actually get some like exposure to it more.
And
it's crazy.
Yeah, if I could ask you guys a question, because we went back, because we are an Xbox podcast, do you think, like, because of Kinect, that's why they're not really completely sold on VR right now? Because of, like, what happened with Kinect? And Kinect was a thing.
I almost feel like Kinect in junction with VR would have been great.
Yeah, but do you think, like, maybe that kind of made them go, like, we don't want to be too early at this until it's completely there, because, like, you know,
I feel like they're making a lot of money at what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
And they don't want to invest too much back into that until they feel like they're for sure ready for it.
Yeah.
Because PlayStation VR is doing okay.
Yeah.
It's not great.
5 million units sold. That's, so that's definitely, so I guess we don't know if that's a good number or not. You know what I mean? So
I think they're the highest.
And at the same time for Microsoft too, like what does it matter? They already support VR. It's just not on console. So for them, it's
like
just going to be when it's convenient enough to do that.
Yeah.
And probably with Windows 11, I could see it coming sooner rather than later.
That's true. I think the X and S actually might be capable. They just haven't, I feel like it's not going to be that hard to integrate.
Oh, if the PlayStation 4 Pro is capable, believe me, the Series S and X are 100% capable of doing VR.
Yeah. They just, we'll see. I don't know.
I think thinking about it now is like it makes sense for Microsoft to be like, hold off on doing the whole VR thing until we get Windows closer to like Xbox.
Yeah.
Like you bring it into Windows 11 and everything, and you start to make it a lot more like the Xbox interface and the way that that runs and utilizes the technologies that they developed for the Xbox.
Yeah.
And actually like the memory processing and everything that the Xbox has, they're starting to integrate that into like Windows 11 and everything. They're starting to get more and more options and features available for that. So the closer you get it to that, the easier it is to just be like, okay, now it just plugs into your Xbox. They're already the same.
I believe though, like a flat interface OS is going to die.
Yeah.
I feel like a full virtual, a mix of augmented reality and virtual reality is the future of computing. 100%, in my personal opinion. Because once you're in there, if, like I said, if the thing is comfortable enough on your head, like the fact that I think they said 35% of Facebook employees are working on VR now, that's insane, dude. That's a fucking huge number.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get bigger because Facebook is the past. Oculus is their future, 100%. And like, there's no doubt in my mind that Oculus is the future. Like,
I don't want to pick up
like
Facebook
I said,
most days.
Yeah, but I think the whole thing is they need to get away from that branding, right? Like,
Yeah.
Facebook is not popular. Like, if they're gonna, and I think they're getting away from forcing you to sign in with your Facebook account.
Yeah.
And it'll just be your Oculus account at that point. And if you want to link them together, they'll just allow you. But like, get yourself as far away from that certain wing of your company as you can. Like,
yeah. They're definitely changing it up for sure. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, you think a kid starts a Facebook account? No, they start a TikTok, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even think I've got a TikTok account, and like everybody that I feel like, it's like there's TikTok and then there's also Snapchat. You know what I mean? There's like certain stuff where it's just like, oh yeah, I'm too old for that, or I feel like it's not for me yet. We'll see.
You know what we're not too old for? Fucking fragging in Halo, man.
That's right, my man. That's right.
Never too old to play Halo.
Oh, right.
Never too old.
Halo Infinite.
And for my kid right now, he is not old enough.
I'd love to reintroduce somebody to Halo. Yeah,
never too old.
But when they're of that age, like I'd love to see a young individual like get into Halo, because I think it's a really good franchise. I think so. I think it's a great entry point from like 1 to, infinite now, soon to be. This is our last discussion of the week. Halo Infinite was finally re-revealed, and you can definitely see the extra year of work that they put in. This is what
the campaign was revealed.
The re-campaign. Sorry, because we have been seeing multiplayer. This looks incredible. What do we think about this trailer? This is the most open Halo ever made. I think everybody was originally talking about, like, imagine a silent cartographer as like the basis inspiration for Halo Infinite. That's one of my favorite levels for Halo. What do you guys think about this? Like, let's talk about it, baby, because like I can't go on. It's so this is what I wanted. This is what I wanted since the beginning.
Oh, you wanted Halo mixed with Far Cry, really?
Is it really? No. Ooh, what? No.
I'd say that's my one kind of, like, when I was watching the trailer, is this like, oh, this feels like, you're going after outposts and stuff like that, but there's definitely the Halo twist to it.
Yeah.
But let's I'd say let's get let's start with the biggest thing, is how it looks, right? The year of improvement on the engine, the extra details. I'd say the one thing you notice like right away is his suit, his armor. Mm-hmm. Like, it is war torn. It looks like it's definitely been through 3 years of hell, because that's the time frame between Halo 5 and Halo Infinite. But I like how they do acknowledge Halo Infinite. I do like the openness of this.
And
I think
one part here was hilarious.
Yeah, it just drops the...
drops it like like a few $1 million worth of like military hardware. Just drop that shit.
Yeah.
But it looks like, if you watch this trailer in 4K, some of the like wide shots, like right there before he jumps down, the game looks so crystal clear. It is so clean looking, and it has that Halo art style to it. I think it looks gorgeous, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think they just added it. They just added that kind of extra coat of paint to it, right? That it needed.
Yeah. I like the open world feel of it. Like, I think, like, you're probably right. It's probably going to be kind of like Halo mixed with Far Cry. Like, looking at that with that filter now, I'm like, I can 100% see that.
You
but
kind
I'm
of
going to enjoy that, because I like that sort of thing. Yeah. And like, I think it's just going to be like, because it's still going to have probably a Halo linear storyline, at least somewhat. You're just not going to be walking down hallways as much as you're going to be spread out and going around and passing through these like little fortresses of enemies.
I almost feel like there'll be zones, right? Like,
you see the one part
just
too?
murder the two people.
Yeah.
I almost feel like
Where
it's going to
every
be
rescue
zones,
drives
right?
off the cliff.
Yeah.
Where the zone will be, there is a linear path to the zone, like if you want to beeline it in the story. But so I feel like the whole game is based off of the second level of Halo 1, where they give you 3 objectives and you can go to the 3 objectives in any way you want. And I feel like that it was the whole basis around this particular game is they wanted to take that second level in the original Halo game where you crash land on the Halo for the first time and make a whole game around that itself. The wonders of that level
Yeah.
constantly happening to you the entire time playing the game. But one thing I'm afraid of is like moments being gone. Like how are they going to interweave like that moment in Halo 2 where you fight the huge scarab and you jump onto it and you have that moment where you like blow it up, or like how are they going to introduce stuff?
It's not going to be like, it's going to be more like you're kind of talking about with like Halo 1 or whatever. I have a feeling it's going to be like big maps, like bigger than we've had before, but it's still going to be transitioning from a big map to a big map to a big map with like not too much going on in it, so that it's not going to be like overwhelming for the engine or whatever, but big enough and awesome enough that you can fly across it and feel good about it.
It is still an Xbox One game, so it's not like they can go insane with the size of these environments, right? There will be some limitations to what they have, even though, you know, everyone says, oh, scalable, everything is scalable. It gets to a point where you're running off that Jaguar CPU and shit's not scalable anymore. So, So, but what did you guys think of the antagonists in this game? It seems like we're getting a lot of like enemies in the game.
Yeah,
like there's
a lot of cool banished guys.
Yeah, there is. I don't like everyone's saying it's
the uncle of the Halo Wars 2 villain. What's his name?
Yeah. So everyone's saying it's Atriox. I'm like, it's not Atriox.
No, so it's Atriox's uncle. Ashra, I forgot his name. I was like, I totally forgot, but I remember it's Atriox's uncle. That was the guy that was like, you know, that did the whole, like, you know, he's like in that hologram and he's like, he had that really cool narration. But then you also saw that elite Spartan hunter, the
Spartan hunter,
the two
I think he's
swords.
Jula Dama's like brother or something.
Yeah, something like that.
You kill at the beginning of Halo 5, and then there's that Forerunner, or is it a Forerunner character?
What's her name? She's like, Harbinger. That's what it was called.
Yeah,
Harbinger. Yeah.
So
there's also new enemies as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the skimmers and stuff like that. I'm curious. And you know what? It sounds like we are missing the Forerunner characters, or they're in there.
I feel like they're in there, but they're not going to I feel like they're hiding stuff. If I'm going to,
I feel like they're hiding a lot of things because, like, you didn't see the inside of any Covenant ships and everything, and that's like a staple of all the Halo ones, like running through a massive Covenant ship or
and let's be honest, there's probably Flood that they're hiding as well. The Flood's
I feel like if they don't show anything more than this 6-minute campaign overview, I feel like then it leaves a lot for a big reveal, right?
Yeah.
I feel like what was so awesome about Halo, the original Halo, was that moment you ran into the Flood.
Yeah.
Because like, I feel bad. It's like that moment in KOTOR when you find out who your original character is. When you played the first Halo and you ran into the Flood for the first time on, what was it, the library?
Right before the library. It was like
right before that one.
And they just
like
came
as
out
you're
of
on that
nowhere.
like jungle planet, and you just go to enter underground. You open up and you find a guy's helmet, and all you see is
the
like
dead
flash.
body falls through the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. And then you see one for the first time and you're like, so you get like halfway through the game and then the game throws an entire new bad guy
You
at
spend
you.
the
It
first
was
half
just
just
awesome.
fighting aliens.
Yeah.
You're just like, yeah, no, I'm just fighting like, okay, these are the alien races. Like, here's grunts, here's elites, here's like whatever. It's like,
And then the
like
flood
you're
gets
just
thrown at you.
yeah, and then
And
it's just like out of nowhere. It's like, no, this thing's worse than all of that. Like
and they
everything you
can
just
take
fought up to
over
now.
like
Yeah,
and
like here's fully mutated versions of it.
yeah, and like if you leave dead bodies on the floor, they could get like mutated and come back to life and stuff. It's crazy. Like what a twist. And I feel like Halo Infinite, if they don't reveal more than what they just did, has a good opportunity to reintroduce a twist like that to a new generation of players. And
I think
that's really exciting.
I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think maybe we'll even see like the Sentinels back here again as well, and the Sentinels might look a little bit more unique as well. Because you see the Sentinel gun there. Like, what was it? Not in that trailer, but I believe in the multiplayer, the Sentinel beam gun was available.
Yeah,
if I remembered. So
I hope the Forerunner bad guys come back. They were fun to fight. I feel like they kind of got them down in Halo 5. At least some of the classes. At least they could expand on it. So.
Yeah, I wish they expanded like in the Didact in Halo 4. Like I actually like that villain.
I feel like no bad guys should go away. Like you introduce them, like especially if you start introducing and something we'll talk about it right now.
Yeah.
But I feel like they should not take away any enemies, especially if you are going to have a game mode potentially like Firefight. Because I don't want any... Give me everything. Give me everything that's ever been in Halo thrown at me into Firefight. Bring it on, you know? That's what I'd like to see. And, you know, there is so much we don't know still about this. Like, we got a nice campaign overview, but, like, from what I saw, did you find that, like, let's say knowing... So let's say we're in the world where Game Pass doesn't exist. And Halo is still a free-to-play multiplayer portion of this. Would you feel, personally, compelled to go buy this knowing that we're not going to have co-op campaign at the start, knowing that you could just play multiplayer for free? I don't see anything in this particular... And I'm going to love this, but I'm just talking as an average person here. Yeah. Knowing that I have access to the multiplayer portion for free, and if I don't have Game Pass already, why the fuck would I buy this? Why would I spend $60 on just this campaign when I will probably get 10 times more enjoyment out of just the multiplayer portion, knowing that this campaign doesn't even have co-op on it? When you watch this, I feel like after you watch this, you're like, well, this fucking sucks that it doesn't have co-op on it, because it feels like this...
It needs it.
Amazing with co-op, especially well, I want to be the guy in the gunner seat flying off the cliff with Master Chief with you, bud.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be... I think the storyline and the, like, getting to know the game for a lot of new players and everything, I think they might benefit somewhat from the delayed like co-op, just because you'll get into it and you'll get some time to experiment around on your own and everything before they introduce a second person and be like, oh yeah, here's all the other crazier shit that you can do in here too. Like it'll be kind of like a revive and refresh of just like here's Halo in case that launch isn't compelling enough. Like here's like the co-op as well. Like just a few months later.
But you went from like having the expectation of when you buy a Halo game, you get campaign, you get co-op, you get multiplayer, you get firefight. And this time around, and let's not kid ourselves, Halo Infinite multiplayer and Halo Infinite campaign are two separate products. They are not the same product. They are the same gameplay, the same feel of game, but they are two separate products. Knowing that, how is this worth $60 to some?
I'd be less compelled to buy that.
Yeah.
Yeah, to a person who's purchased Halo, and I think Halo going free to play on the multiplayer portion is the right thing for it to do to grow the series. But I just can't see how the single player portion of that is compelling. Like, I'm compelled to play. I love it. I'm going to love Halo.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be
Picture
a
it as like
negative
an
Nancy
outside
almost,
person. Yeah.
but like for an outside person, like you look at, let's say, Call of Duty, I'm getting campaign, I'm getting multiplayer, I'm getting the zombies thing, and I'm getting all the extra bits that will add to my Warzone stuff. When you have the two, like, and based off of Halo's history in the past of having Forge from the end, Forge is not even going to be there for almost a year. So these things, and it's going to be even in the free multiplayer portion of it. So I feel like they should have, at least at the end of this campaign overview, tease something like Firefight. Like, at least throw Firefight into this bitch, because
You think Firefight might be in the multiplayer, free-to-play multiplayer part?
it needs to be in the campaign part. Like, it can't be part of that free-to-play multiplayer stuff. They need to add something more to make that campaign worth it, because people are going to be buying it on Steam.
Yeah. And it'd be easy enough to, well, hopefully easy enough. I mean, I've never designed a Halo game, so
Yeah.
But like to just have a larger space and have like more people in it, more chaos, more like we were kind of looking to get out of Battlefield or whatever. It would be awesome to see something like that come out of Halo. And I don't know if like maybe these delays are just because of like the reskinning and the improvements they made over the first release of the campaign that they did.
Yeah.
Or what, but who knows? Hopefully it's just like
I hope we get more at the 20th anniversary. I hope we at least know what the package is going to be. Like, compel me to because all they're saying is, hey, you're playing Halo for free this fall, and for the person who doesn't have Game Pass, it's that initial. The campaign looks awesome, but like,
my only thought is like maybe they're trying to push towards like Game Pass and everything. Like, your Game Pass trial, grab that, start off with just the campaign and everything. Like, get introduced to it. Like, for people who just aren't into it just yet, or something. Or
well, then have the balls to be like, this game is not for sale. It's only on Game Pass. It's not on Steam. The only way you can play Halo campaign is to be a Game Pass subscriber. And I'm very curious when the first game will do that. Because you know what? If they're not like satisfied in, let's say, the growth of Game Pass, the only way, one, you're going to grow Game Pass is what I was saying. You got to restructure your account system. And two, you have to pull the trigger on some titles being Game Pass only. That means you can't purchase it on the Xbox store when you're on there. The literally only way to play it, no other way to play it, is to be a subscriber on Game Pass.
Yeah.
And I think that's inevitable at some point. I know the conversation kind of went down a different hole, but I'm very excited about it. From what I saw of the campaign, I know I got a little negative there. So
no, it's okay, Negative Nanny.
But it looks so good, man. It looks so fun. Like, I love the openness of it. I think, even though I said, it's kind of mixed with Far Cry, I feel like Halo was designed to do that, right?
Yeah.
Take that second level of Halo, the original Halo, and you expand onto that. And you can almost say like Far Cry was, well, like almost every shooter was inspired by
Halo just has such a good feel for it too.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why they had to include the grappling hook and everything to pull yourself along and traverse the world a little quicker too. It's just like Halo has a great feel for like running around, getting some speed going, like jumping over stuff, jumping off of things.
That super soldier.
Like, yeah, exactly. Feeling like a crazy super soldier, yeah. I think it's going to be awesome. Just the feel of it is going to be just right for that sort of gameplay.
Something that I kind of feel like worth mentioning is like, do you think, because you know how like it's going to be in the first season pass co-op, that there's going to be campaign content that might happen, like post-game like I feel like that might actually be something in the cards for this Halo Infinite. Like I feel like there's some sort of expansion packs or there's some sort of things with like new zones. That's where I'm like, maybe that could justify this game.
Yeah, that's where the value is. They add the Infinite to Halo Infinite.
Yeah, like
Because
yeah,
didn't they say at some point that your multiplayer character would be coming
Part
into
of
the campaign at some point?
I mean,
So
that all me that actually kind of tells me like maybe something bad's gonna happen to Chief, and I'm just gonna say this: like, don't fucking kill him off. Don't kill him off. Not my hero. No, just say
not his time.
Dude,
man.
we
not
want
my
more
time.
sheep.
Yeah.
And like they never show if they do decide to kill him off, never show it. You know?
Well,
Yeah.
that's one of the main like philosophies of the whole Spartan program too. Is no Spartan ever dies. They
They're
just go missing in action.
It's just
Yeah, missing in action.
It was
Let's
all a
see.
morale thing in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like they were originally designed to like fight the colonies that were rebelling against the government and stuff until a greater threat showed up, and then they became much more useful.
Yeah, they were demons. You know what I mean? They were the demons. We'll see. You know what, Josh? I'm with you there with the fact that yes, I'm kind of scared about like the value of the single player, but I'm also in the camp saying that like it's okay if I can wait a couple of months. I'd love to play it single player on by myself and then maybe have a co-op mode. Maybe there's much like score modes or something like that. Maybe there'll be extra things that's added in. Maybe randomly they'll put scarabs in certain zones just out of nowhere. Maybe they'll just constantly, put some extra stuff. And you just know, none of us know, we'll see.
Be able to find some skulls along the way, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's true.
It'll be interesting. I think if anything, it's just like they don't want to overwhelm new players to it, like starting right off the bat.
Yeah.
Like, if there's any benefits to it anyways, I think that's probably one of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I just, man, like after seeing it, and I'm so excited for it, I just feel like co-op not being there at launch is such a miss, though.
Yeah.
Hey,
I want to be playing it with you guys, man.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
we'll get there quick. And we'll be playing along. We'll be playing some multiplayer at the very least.
Yeah, it's only a few months away, right? It's going to be February or March? That was Season Pass 1, the first Season Pass? Yep. That's what they said? That's not too long, guys. That's not too long. You know what I mean?
No.
And we'll play multiplayer together as well. We'll play, multiplayer modes as well, and all that stuff. I'm sure there'll be a lot.
And it's not like we don't have enough to play, right?
That's true.
We already complain about how much stuff we have already in front of us. So
yeah,
there's adding more stuff to the plate is
plenty of stuff. Plenty of stuff. Yeah, absolutely. All right, we got to call it a night. We definitely got to call it a night. Dan, where can people find us? All that stuff. Tell me in your beautiful voice.
Well, you just don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your YouTube page. Hit that like button. Feel free to leave us a comment down below. You can also find us audio only on Spotify, Google Podcast. Just look for Xbox North Podcast. We're also on Reddit, Instagram. Look up Xbox North Podcast, and for Twitter @NorthXbox.
Is your wife just looking at you? It's like, just come here, big boy, right?
Yeah. I'll subscribe to that podcast.
Like, I'm already there.
That's beautiful.
All we see is just panties hit your face.
Hey, this is oh yeah, right. We already we said we were gonna keep it mature. Right.
Keep it. Yeah, we kept it mature, man.
We did. That's a good week.
How bad was my mic flaring thing at the beginning? Did that last like
It wasn't
too
too
long?
bad. It's a little bit of crinkling here and there.
Yeah, there was a moment where I was like, I messaged and I'm like, he's not looking down because he's talking. So I'm just like, we'll just wait. We'll just wait till he looks down. And then
Did you hear it when I was talking?
Yeah, or there was a moment where I was just like, oh, this is consistent. And I was like, shit. Oh, well.
Yeah, I saw the flare. Yeah, whatever.
All right.
Oh, well.
Bye, everybody.
That's it.
Toodaloo.
That's it. Yeah. Have a good night, guys.